So on on the theme of positive psychology and importing this idea of joyousness into our lives, today's class is all about gratitude. And there have actually been studies done that have shown that simply by writing down once per week 5 things that you are grateful for, you can start to retrain your brain into seeing the positive over the negative things that happen. So it's like what we spoke about a few weeks ago. We're just constantly reminding and reiterating and relishing in the really positive moments of life. And the gratitude journaling is one of the ways to do that. So let's start. You have your pen and paper nearby, but we won't write quite yet. In fact, can you just sit up nice and tall and close your eyes? Close your eyes, take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide and exhale. Inhale again. And exhale. Good. Let go of all breath control and just sit in this very, very still place without changing or controlling anything at all. Just notice how this feels. And now I'd like you to think about 5 people that you are grateful for. The first 5 names that come to your mind's eye, 5 people that you are grateful for. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Now, could you think about 5 places that you are grateful for? 5 places. Maybe your comfortable bed, somewhere in the forest you retreat to. 5 places you are grateful for. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out all your air. Now, could you think about 5 life experiences that you are grateful for? Understanding that gratitude is beneficial to us because it's coming to teach us something. It turns problems into challenges. It reminds us who and what are important in our life. It connects us with others. 5 life experiences that you are grateful for. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide and exhale. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Tonight we'll sing Om as a sound of gratitude 3 times. Inhale through your nose. And now blink open your eyes, find your piece of paper, and can you write down what came to your mind? Write down 5 people that you are grateful for. Write down 5 places you feel grateful for. And write down 5 experiences you feel grateful for. And while you do that, I'm going to get a new light because mine just burnt out. Once you finish writing down 5 people, 5 places, and 5 experiences you are grateful for, could you make your way into child's pose for me? Come into child's pose, close your eyes, take a big breath in, and exhale out all of your air. Walk both hands over to the right, even off your yoga mat. Push the floor away, stretch that whole left side of your body. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Good, and now walk your hands over towards the left. Find the level of resistance that feels good in your spine. Pin down through your fingers. Breathe into your right side. Exhale, soften. Wander your hands back through center. Walk them in ever so slightly. Keep your left hand grounded and reach your right arm under your left arm, placing your right ear on the floor and walking your left hand either directly overhead or all the way across your yoga mat. 5 patient, slow breaths here. Replace your left hand just in front of its arm. Unwrap your right hand, place it down on the floor, and switch sides. Today's practice is really, really mild, really slow and therapeutic. There's no rushing today. It's all about feeling good. And now walk your hands back through center, lift yourself up onto all fours and start to cycle through cat-cow. Rounding and extending your spine, meeting each movement with either an inhale or an exhale. 1 minute in cat-cow. So really honoring this idea of moving in a way that feels delightful for your body. Maybe your cat-cows are very rigid and particular, but they might change too. They might become a little more personal or a little more fluid over time. They might be fast, but maybe they're slow, honoring those little nooks and crannies in your body that might not get a whole lot of attention. Start to slow down your cat-cows like you're moving or even dancing in slow motion. And turn them into more lateral movements. So instead of flexing and extending your spine, can you flex and extend it laterally? Look over your right shoulder and plug your right hip towards your right shoulder. Breathe in As you breathe out, round into your spine, turn the other way, look over your left shoulder, tuck your left hip towards your left shoulder. Do that one more time, rounding into your spine as you come through center and move over in the opposite direction. Really, really subtle work through your lateral body here. Good, and now pull everything back to neutral, flex your feet, and please sit back on your heels. Sit back on your heels, bend at your wrists, take your wrists and make fists and just rock your fists from side to side. And now place those hands back down onto the floor, crawl all the way forward and come down onto your tummy. Take your fingers off your yoga mat. Press down on through all 10 fingers and all 10 toes. Inhale, weave your spine up, lift your gaze up, look up. Exhale, lower back down. Do that a few more times. The same way you moved through cat-cow in this really slow, intuitive, and therapeutic way. Can you do that kind of movement? And you might keep pulsing up and down, or perhaps on the next time up, you turn your gaze over your right shoulder and look towards your right hip before falling back down. And turning your gaze over your left shoulder, looking over your left hip on the way back. Take a few more, whatever feels good in your body here. Playing with the depth and the angles with which you move. And finally, come all the way down to your mat. Take your hands underneath your head. Take your hands underneath your head, bend into both knees, and just let your feet flop. Again, really slowly, really lazily from side to side. Release your legs back down. Mark your hands alongside your body and pull yourself up into a low plank. Zip your belly button up, your tailbone lowers down. Take a breath in, look forward, and as you exhale, lower just halfway. Inhale, press yourself back up. Try that 2 more times, seeing if you can beat the quieting, the silencing, and the softening from those first few shapes with a little energy here. After you've repeated those 3 repetitions, retreat back into child's pose. Take a breath in. Exhale. And now funnel your body all the way up for your first downward facing dog and follow that intentionality that we've been working with. Move in a way that feels intuitive, that feels guttural and right. In a way that honors whatever it is your body needs. So maybe your legs are super straight or perhaps they're incredibly bent. And now look forward, step your right foot between your hands and drop your left knee down. Take a blanket beneath your knee if you've got sensitive joints. Roll your shoulders back, inhale, lift your gaze up. And as you exhale, sink your hips back to your heels, walk your hands back with you, lift up your right toes, exhale, fold forward. That's the movement. So inhale, pull your body weight up, drop your belly down, lift your gaze as you breathe in still. Exhale, round into your spine, drive your hips back, lift up your toes. Good. Just like before, without worrying about counting or time, you can just move through this movement, this action of flexion and extension in your spine, as well as some stress in the back of your right hamstring and in the front of your left quad. The next time your body moves forward, pause here. Ground down through your left hand. So keep your left hand flat on the inside of your right foot and take your right thumb, plug your right thumb into your right hip crease. You might have to dig a little here. Pull your right hip crease back to drive your right shoulder back and then roll your right ribs up. Now you might opt to stretch your right arm high. Take a breath in here. And as you take a breath out, lower your right hand down to the inside of your right foot. Heel toe your right foot out to the outside edge of your mat. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. As you exhale, decide, will you stay here or will you fall down onto your arms, perhaps even opening your right leg out towards the right. Driving sensation into some of those more naughty, K-N-O-T-T-Y, naughty parts of our body, right? Breathe through that left front of your hip, through your inner right groin. And now either stay here or turn your left elbow, so your left hand faces your left toes, bend into your left knee, and maybe reach your right hand back just to flirt with your right foot, or if your quad is feeling open, you can maybe catch your right foot. Wherever you go, press down through your left elbow, take a breath in, maybe turn your gaze up. Exhale, release that leg down, slowly, slowly pivot your body back in space. Knees come together, sink your hips back and reach your hands behind you as well. Find child's pose. Knees together, hands behind you variation. 5 breaths. Slowly roll yourself back up onto all fours. Good, onto all fours. Step your left foot between your hands. Step your left foot between your hands. Perk up onto your fingertips. Find some stability here. And then inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, float your arms down. Try that movement 2 more times. Notice how it feels. And the next time your arms come down, here can you place your right hand onto the floor to the inside of your left foot. Rotate your left ribs up and stretch your left arm all the way up. Breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, lower your left hand down to the inside of your right foot. Inhale, lift your heart and your chest up. Exhale, lean back, walk your hands back. Notice how this has changed with your hands on the inside. Lift up your toes. If you're tumbling over to the right, you can take your left hand back to the outside, but we're just playing with different shapes, different ways of doing shapes that we're used to. So start to rock your weight back and forth. Noticing how the spine and the hamstrings, the quads feel. Now the next time you come forward, pause here, take a breath in. And as you exhale, heel toe that left foot out by any amount. Maybe you come down onto your forearms. You don't have to. Maybe you roll it onto the outside edge of your left foot. Again, not essential. Breathe here into this really uncomfortable stretch through your outer right hip. Soften your lips. Taking 1 more inhale. And as you exhale, press your hands back into the floor. Pause with your right hand rooted on the earth. Take your left thumb, thumbs up, and stick that left thumb into your outer left hip. Just start to track that hip back and roll your left ribs up. This is absolutely enough, but if you'd like to go deeper, reach your left hand back to catch your right knee as you bend it in towards your buttocks. Take a breath in, shine your heart upward. And exhale, release that foot, release the hand, patiently come all the way back, but this time lie down on your tummy. Lie down on your tummy.
And take your arms wide, open your arms wide out to the side. And then press into your right hand, roll over onto the outer side of your left body. So the left side of your body is holding you in space here. You can bend your right knee for a kickstand. You can prop your left ear. But the idea with your right hand on the floor or up overhead is that we're finding some front shoulder and chest opening. Not too long here. Release your right hand down to the floor, rotate back onto your tummy, pause. That's a pretty intense place to go. Straighten your right hand out to the side and roll onto the right side of your body now. Maybe bend your left knee. Perhaps take your left hand up overhead, otherwise your left fingers stay on the floor. Breathe space, create space with your breath. Linger for a moment longer before you come back down onto your belly. Come back down onto your belly, push into your hands, lift up and back, wide-legged child's pose. So that child's pose variation that we started in with your arms stretched out overhead. Think about 5 people that you are grateful for, different people from the ones we started with. Spread your fingers wide, rise up through neutral spine on all fours, and then float back downward facing dog. Ground through your left foot, stretch your right leg high, bend your right knee and open your right hip out towards the right before you step your right foot between your hands. Now stay on the ball of your left foot and lift everything up. Sink deep into your front knee. Good. Your hands can stand at your hips here for stability, anchoring your pelvis down and forward. You could even try tugging your pubic bone up and driving your tailbone down and see how that settles in your body. If you feel steady, maybe your arms reach up. Keep driving your lumbar spine, your tailbone in, so you feel the work through your left quad. Take one more breath in. And now as you exhale, slowly open towards the left. Turn your left foot to point to the long edge of your mat. Open your arms wide and find warrior 2. Honoring the intention of this practice, just be here for 5 breaths. Good. Press through your right foot, straighten your right leg, send your left hips back, reach your right fingers forward, and fall down to Trikonasana, triangle pose. Your right hand could come onto a block on the inside of your right leg. Your left hand could soar up or take hold of your left wrist. Left hip. Another variation today, reach your left hand back behind you and crawl your fingers to the inside of your right thigh. Now, as you pull that right thigh open, you're getting that awakening through your shoulders and the front of your chest again. 3 more breaths here. Push through your left foot. Good. Ground down through your feet. Lift yourself back up, back up. Step your left foot forward halfway up your yoga mat and take your feet wide so they're about mat distance apart. Bring your hands to your hips, work your pelvis forward, inhale, look up. Now as you exhale, hinge forward and fold forward. Drop your fingers down beneath your shoulders. Savor that sensation through the back of your hamstrings by inhaling to lengthen and exhaling to fold. Many of you might opt to hang out here.
But you can transfer your weight into your left hand by walking your left hand to the outside edge of your right foot, taking that thumb, just like you did before, push your thumb into your hip crease. That'll fire up your left hand, your right hamstring as you stretch the crown of your head forward. Maybe you open your right arm up, but that's a really big twist. Revolved Trikonasana. Breathe here for 3, 2, and 1. Place both hands down onto the floor. Step your left foot forward. Take your feet mat distance apart. Drop your hips down. Here you are in Malasana squat pose. Bring your hands to your heart. 5 breaths here. Your chest is lifted as you squeeze your arms together with your legs and push your legs away with your arms. Let the nervous system calm down. Coming closer to earth in postures can help facilitate that after big standing poses. And now dip your chest forward, plant your palms onto the floor, lift up your bum, and simply walk back into downward facing dog for the other side. Inhale, lift your left leg high, bend your left knee, open that hip wide. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Stay on the ball of your right foot. Come all the way up to standing with so much strength. Place your hands together at your hips or on your hips rather. Lift your chest. Exhale, sink deeper into that front knee. With focus and force, rotate into warrior 2. Turn your right toes, face the right long edge of your mat. Spread your wings wide and look over your left fingers. 5 breaths. Beautiful. Press through your feet, straighten out those legs, tilt your weight forward, come down into Trikonasana. Again, your right hand can stay at your hip, it can stretch for the sky, or you might reach your right hand back behind you, curl your fingers to the inside, almost to the inside of your left thigh, and pull it out, feeling that opening through your chest. I get it really right into my inner right hip. Just play with a different approach to the same shape you've done lots of times before. And breathe. Firm down through your feet, rise everything back up. Step your back foot halfway up your yoga mat. Your feet are nice and wide. Rotate your pelvis forward. So your left foot is forward, right foot is back. They're about 2 feet apart. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, look up, and as you exhale, hinge forward. Drape your fingers down beneath your shoulders. This might just be perfect. If this is perfect, hang out here. You don't have to go to the next step. If there's this drive to go and explore, wander your right fingers to the outside of your left hip, or left foot, take your left thumb, plug it into your left hip crease, stretch that spine long, reach through the crown of your head, draw your left ribs up, maybe your left hand comes up, and be here, breathe here for 3, 2, and 1. Brilliant. Take your left hand down, take your right hand down, step both feet forward, push down through your feet, come all the way up to stand. Come all the way up to stand and take a big wide stance on your yoga mat. Stretch your legs nice and wide, facing either direction. Bring your hands to your hips again. Drive your pubic bone up. Inhale, look up. And as you exhale, fold forward. Walk your hands under your shoulders. Inhale, lengthen one more time. Exhale, fold. Walk your hands back to meet the edges of your feet and just linger here. Bring your awareness to your hands and to your left foot. Start to walk over towards your left foot. Bend your left knee. And as you come over here, turn your right toes to face the sky. Your hands can stay on the floor or come to your heart. This is Skandasana. Take a few moments there. Settle into that big stretch through the inner groin. And then wander creep. It feels like you're creeping over to the other side. Good. Your hands can stay on the floor or palms come together. Think about pulling those left toes to face the sky, maybe even to face your face. It's okay to stumble. Good. Walk back through center. Your knees are really far apart. Could you walk your hands onto your legs? Pull your torso up and stack your shoulders above your hips. Sink your hips a little lower. Bring your hands out to either side. Lift your gaze, open your heart. Think about 5 places you are grateful for, 5 new places. Ground down through your feet, stand all the way up. Scoop your legs together, come to the top of your yoga mat. Notice how your body's feeling. Catch one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. Breathe. Keep your left foot rooted. Bend into your right knee and straight away plug your right foot into your inner left leg above or below your knee. So you're finding tree pose, Either take your hands to your heart or reach them up overhead. But remember, today's practice isn't about going into the biggest and boldest shapes. It's about coming into shapes that feel really good, that feel really therapeutic and useful to our practice. And it takes a long time of doing yoga to get to that place where you just practice for your body, not your ego. Beautiful. Lower your right foot down. When it meets the earth, switch sides. Lower your left foot down and come back into your squat pose. Take your feet about that distance apart. If your heels are lifted, that's okay. Drop your hips down, place your palms together. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, soften. Stretch your right arm forward. So your right arm reaches forward. Option A, stay here. Option B, turn your right hand to face the back of your yoga mat. Bend your right hand, reach it back behind you. And now take your left arm and see if you can stretch your left arm back any way to catch your right fingers. If that happens, consider straightening your arms. Turn your gaze up and breathe. If it doesn't happen, you're just marinating in your squat. Otherwise, come to the other side. Now stretch your left arm out. Feel that awakening through your chest. Reach your left arm back behind you. Your right arm finds a way to get there. And sometimes you just tug your shirt. Sometimes your hands won't meet and your shirt will serve as your hand. But if you do find the bind or the shirt, inhale, lift your heart up for a second. Exhale, let it go. Give your ankles a break. Sit down onto your bum. Take the soles of your feet together and hug the soles of your feet together right in front of your pelvis. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, fold forward. Soften into Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose, 5 breaths. Nice and slow, walk your hands in towards your body. Could you just bend your right knee and snuggle your left heel in towards your right hip. Take your right foot to the outside of your left leg. Take a big breath in to lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, walk your left hands behind you. Stretch your right arm up and find a rotation here. Keep your right hand really active. Turn your gaze back behind you and breathe.
And now move from that open twist to a closed twist. Walk your right hand back behind you. Inhale, lift your left arm up. Exhale, take your left elbow across your right thigh. Spread your left fingers wide. Rotate to the right and turn your gaze back behind you. Breathe. Good. Come back through center. This might be it. Maybe you stay here for our hip work, or you can take your right foot and move your right foot over to the right by any amount. Your left foot will move towards the left. You could also take your right ankle on your left thigh if that feels more accessible. For many bodies, it does. And maybe stay upright or come down. Just 5 breaths into these outer hip flexors. Really good. Inhale, lift back up, lean back, take your legs, straighten both legs out in front of you. Reach your arms up as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, fold forward, targeting your hamstrings. Could you catch the outside edges of your feet? Maybe your shins. Inhale, lengthen again. Exhale, soften. Just 3 breaths here. Slide your body back up. Slide the soles of your feet back together like we did previously. Stamp your left foot on the floor and snuggle your right heel in towards your left buttocks. Step your left foot to the outside of your right thigh. Take your right hand behind you. Inhale your left arm up. Find an open twist. Right? So this is typically taught during pregnancy or when someone can't do big twists. But we're playing with shapes, different ways to do the same shape today. So notice how this feels in your body. Relative, turn to the other side to how this more contorted and deeper twist feels in the opposite direction. A few breaths here. And now just glide your body forward, slip it right in to whatever shape comes next. Shoelace pose with your knees stacked, square pose with your left ankle on your right thigh, or something in between that targets, that stimulates your outer hips. Unravel from your shape, release your legs. Take your time, come down onto your back. Hold your knees against your heart and just flip and flop your body from one side to the next. Let your knees settle all the way over towards the right. Open your arms wide for a big spinal twist. Maybe even turn your gaze left. Quietly move your legs through center over to the other side. As you bring your legs back through center one final time, melt everything down for Shavasana. Release your palms alongside your body, close your eyes, and think about 5 experiences that you are grateful for. Soften your whole body into your mat. Slowly, slowly start to bring movements into your toes and your fingers. I'm grateful for this body that takes you through movements and muses. Breathe in, stretch both arms up overhead, and as you exhale, let everything soften and relax back down. Bend into both knees, curl onto the right side of your body. Fetal pose. And now push yourself all the way back up to a cross-legged seat. Bring your hands to your heart. Say thank you out loud or quietly to yourself for always carving out the space to be in your body, to turn off distraction. Take a deep breath in and take a deep breath out. Namaste.